red wine, showing some maturity in the color. Darkly colored bowl, medium dark. I've got pinkish rim. Looks like it's developing, not fully mature. There's no color in the legs. Tears look pretty standard. A little bit of color in the legs, tiny bit in there. So it looks like a fairly darkly colored wine. All right, nose. Oh, there's quite a bit of oak on this nose. It's very pretty oak. It's a vanilla and sawdusty. So I'm immediately already thinking there's maybe a touch of American oak here, but there's just a lot of new oak. More than that wine seems to be able to handle, although I'm getting moderate intensity to the aromas. There's nothing wrong with it. That oak is just a personal thing. I just don't like that much oak on a wine like this. But it has this, what is that word I'm looking for here? A little bit pencil shavings. There's something else in there that it's almost like marshmallow. As stupid as this sounds, but if you think about all the vanilla that you get out of oak, could it be some marshmallow? Yeah, it's a little bit like pencil shavings meet marshmallow. Did you know those go together? Because I did not, but they do now. Okay, whatever. All right, back to the fruit. Black cherry, plum, raspberry, moderate intensity to the nose, and a good dose of fruit hanging in there despite the bigger dose of spices and oak that's going on in here. Flowers, maybe a touch, dried flowers, a little perfume kind of smell to go along with that vanilla. Herbs, not finding much in the way of herbs. Yeah, there is actually basil, dried basil. It's kind of dried herbs. Just lots of oak. Can't seem to get quite past that. Vegetal notes, not really. In terms of earth, what do I got? Potting soil, clay pot. Let's taste. Moderate tannins, moderate weight, nothing big. Kind of just in a way sort of a moderate weight wine that's sort of plump and fun. The middle is plump, like there's a touch of sweetness to it. Black cherry meets red cherry, red plum meets raspberry, more on the plummy cherry side. Gets a little ooey gooey at the end. Maybe it's that sugar, but I think mostly it just doesn't have very much in the way of acidity, except in getting a big dose of tannin on the tongue and maybe some adjusted acidity. It's always weird to describe that, and I could be wrong, but it feels adjusted to me, like somebody dumped some tartaric in here trying to adjust this wine a little bit. Comes off like a moderate character California wine, a Lodi sort of thing. I don't want to say Lodi because it's not quite that high in alcohol or in uber ripeness. It's ripe. It's a pleasant wine. In terms of what we really have here, the weight is sort of simple. I'm moving more towards the Merlot spectrum of things right now. But let's talk about what's actually in there. So dried flowers, maybe a touch at the end, a little bit of perfume and lilac at the end. In terms of fruits, it's red fruits, getting a little bit riper as it sits in the mouth. In terms of the spices, plenty of spice, almost like cinnamon red hots in the mouth right now. So mostly used oak, but plenty of new oak as well. 2/3 used, 1/3 new, and the new is dialed up quite a bit. Maybe it's half and half. I don't know. Herbs, dried herbs, vegetables, nothing to talk about. Black tea, brown tea kind of notes, which is why I was thinking more towards the Merlot spectrum. In terms of what happens in the structure, this is around medium plus alcohol, around 14 to something like that. Warms up quite a bit here. In terms of the acidity, it's medium minus. In terms of the tannin, it's medium plus. In terms of the finish, medium, not real short, but it's kind of short. Complexity, not much going on there. Color, I can't see any color anymore because I dumped it out. But I'm in the 2006 realm here, somewhere thereabouts. Said Merlot-based blend, California, North Coast, something of that nature. I couldn't find Central Coast in there, and even though I said Lodi, I don't think the alcohols are right for that. So let's see what we got. Zinfandel. All right. Well, the alcohol obviously would then be higher than I thought it was. This is Sonoma County, 2006 Zinfandel. I'd expect the zinny character to show a little bit more, but Zinfandel's pretty famous for, as it ages, kind of shedding some of the more overt Zin character. And this has obviously been dialed down just a little bit, so it's not this big, fat, strapping, overt Zen character, but it explains why I thought about Lodi briefly, couldn't settle there. Explains to me, to some degree, why I thought Merlot, talked about a touch of the American oak in there from the outset. I think it's a perfectly nice wine. Hopefully it's reasonably priced. But there you go.